entertaining podcasts I listen to. I don't listen to many. That one, Francine, is a different point of view. It's a female point of view, but someone who's been through the hardcore wars. So
Yes.
what Francine has to say to me matters and is important. And there are two guys up in New York, Monte and the Pharaoh.
Mm-hmm.
I find them hugely entertaining. I find them fun to listen to. But those three are the only three podcasts really other than, the PW Insider stuff that I listen to at all.
Big Ron Shaw here, the Earl of Upsets, telling you to watch my friends, Monte and the Pharaoh, on Long Island's #1 wrestling podcast show, and soon to be the world's #1 wrestling podcast show. That is going to be a big upset.
The Monte and the Pharaoh Show is brought to you by...
Because wine is your second favorite four-letter word. California wine, New York attitude. Good fucking wine.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast. Monte and the Pharaoh, seen out of Monte's man cave and the Pharaoh's man cave. What's up, big guy?
This is my man cave. I was going to call it Pharaoh's Dungeon.
That's fine. But from now on, we'll name it Pharaoh's Dungeon.
I got to get some chains and stuff and hang them from the ceiling and stuff like that.
Dude,
man?
I got to tell you. So, I think it was SummerSlam. Becky Lynch came out to a new song, right? And I was thinking, how she should have taken Riding High. I don't understand why she. Again, Riding High is one of how it's not like a major hit. Kudos to you and your partner Bart at Wisteria Hall.
Thank you.
If anyone has a chance, you go to Wisteria Hall's music. It's top shelf stuff, man. And it's like how some of this stuff. Again, Jimmy, I'm not saying that it. I just don't know how it didn't hit it big. I really don't. To me, and I think I know music, so I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah. What did Cooper say? Welcome to my nightmare, Mike. I don't know what to tell you. I know that I make nice paintings. Wait till I'm gone. That's how it's going to work anyway. Wait till I'm gone. When I'm gone, maybe something, it'll pop out of a capsule at the Smithsonian 100 years from now.
Well, whatever. I think I'm a true believer now, after doing a show all these years, that the back of baseball card will stand for itself. So I think at some point, Jimmy, you and Bart, something's going to click,
Well, I believe about the same thing about the back of our baseball card, brother. But,
well, that being said, for anybody,
I'm smoking Florida cigarettes in the New York dungeon. There you go.
So welcome back to New York, Jimmy.
Yes,
we're glad to have you back. You were missed.
Nice to be back in New York. I will say that it was a beautiful thing seeing the Empire State Building after driving for 22 straight hours. I was like, oh, there she is. Let me roll down the window so I can get the smell of cigar and sweat.
Well, I'll tell you what. Soon enough, you and I will be in studio together, back to the way it used to be. So, again, we're glad to have you back in New York. And you know what? We're gonna do well.
We always have, my friend.
I just wanted to make an announcement. So anybody that is waiting on Missy Beefcake ended up, I will talk about in the show, ended up having to go to a memorial with Brutus So she apologized. We had it all set up, and again, it just came up. So you know, but we will still talk about everything that everybody's been talking about. Give our viewpoints, play some videos. So again, if anyone was waiting for Missy, it's time for you to bail. But if you don't, you'll be missing
Yes.
Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, right?
Stay a while. What are you bailing for? What else you got to do? Pornhub will always be there for
There you
you.
go. Want to remind everybody
Yeah.
that Ron Shaw returns, and he'll be sharing his thoughts on Hulk Hogan
Big Ron.
next week. Big Ron and a couple other guests,
Big
Jimmy,
Ron.
coming in. We've got Al Perez will be joining us within the next couple of weeks. We'll have it posted on all
Interesting.
social media.
Very interesting. Okay.
Got a few other things. What did you think about Miss Martinez last week, Jimmy?
Well, apparently, people giving her shit for her opinion on stuff, right, Mike? You could probably fill me in a little bit better, considering I've been through a whirlwind in the last week plus. But sounds
So
like some folks are giving her a hard time on
the interview. Got a lot of buzz. Did really well.
Did very well.
Her, her commentaries on Janelle Grant. I found her to be quite honest, Jimmy. I thought, wow, how hot was she, bro?
She wasn't tepid or cold in the least.
What?
Well, what are you gonna? As hot as my sun poisoning was, is that what you want? I mean, it wasn't tepid or cold. That's for shit sure.
Well, what were your thoughts about her?
I thought she was pretty honest.
itself.
I thought she was pretty honest. I thought she was pretty chill. I thought she was. I thought she. I wasn't sure at the beginning. I was like, I wonder what we're gonna get here, but she was pretty loose. She was pretty loosey goosey with her answers, and if people have a problem with her answers, well, that's all. That was her opinion. So type away, sprain your fingers. Feel free.
I was impressed by her honesty and her approach. I thought she was very well thought out. I thought she was cooler than all shit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Well,
the metal Jesus. I really wanted to see that guy, man.
Metal Jesus. I was picturing Aquaman for some reason. How about you?
You know what? You're funny. I was thinking the same thing, man. Like a Roman Reigns looking type of guy.
Right. When she said Metal Jesus, I thought to myself, I was like, okay, he's probably something like, Aquaman / what's Aquaman's name? Jason Momoa? Is that his name?
Yeah, the big news is I think that guy
Come on, Mike,
shaved his beard or some shit. No, you got it. You got it. Jason.
You're the movie guy, all right? Did I get that one? I'm surprised I got it. I don't watch movies, Mike.
What'd you think about the Birdman on last Friday? What were you thinking about that?
I love Coco, and you know what? It puzzles me so much because Coco, Tony Atlas, so many other great wrestlers of color, they're all saying Hogan's not what you're making him out to be. So why is their opinion so overlooked? It shouldn't matter. Tony on the road all those years with the Hulkster. Coco worked with the Hulkster. Him going in. Hey, look, in the past, and I'll just say it right here, Mr. 350 Days loved to criticize Hulk Hogan because of, Kamala. Well, we've heard firsthand from Tony and from Coco, that Hulk went in there and said, give that man more money. Look, there's only so much Hogan could do for people, and when these guys testify on his behalf, like Dennis Rodman said he's no racist. Stop it. He's no more racist than the rest of us. Stop.
Jimmy, after when we start discussing Hogan, for example, I'm getting some feedback here. Just give me a second, okay? I don't know why. We'll talk about it in a minute, but when we start discussing what Brooke Hogan had to share, again, thou shalt not judge for sure, but if people didn't like Hogan before, I don't know. I want to hear your thoughts on it, bro. Actually.
Mike, why do you think? I'll tell you this much. No one has changed their opinion on Hulk Hogan post-death, and if they have, it's very few. the people who hated Hogan before he passed away are now jumping on it. I don't think that there's been a because of their negative typing and stuff. It's like other people are seeing that and going, "Okay, I believe that too."
Well,
I don't
let's
think
discuss it
so.
because
I think
I want to get your viewpoint on it. But let's hit a major point, and then we'll get to
yeah.
the Brooke Hogan stuff. Okay. Lonnie Anderson
All
passed
right.
away.
Oh,
WKRP and former wife of Burt Reynolds. I
Bert,
always thought of
Bert.
you as a Lonnie Anderson type of guy, Jimmy.
Boy, did you nail it, Lonnie Anderson, man! Holy sprained wrist back in junior high. Is that disrespectful for the? You know
I don't
what?
know.
We really
I don't
should
think
be
so.
saying. Look, Lonnie Anderson was drop dead gorgeous. Um, being with Bert does nothing but it's the whole image. I mean, Bert was the man's man, and the ladies' man. I mean, that was quite the couple, right? I mean, Lonnie Anderson was everything. As far as post Farrah Fawcett, Lonnie Anderson was kind of like next. As far as her exposure as a sex symbol, she was a great sex symbol, obviously. Um, I wonder how smart she was, Mike. Do you ever wonder? Because she always obviously got typecast into those roles, but something tells me she was pretty sharp.
You know what, dude? I think people like Pam Anderson,
I hope.
Lonnie Anderson, I think they're
Yeah,
superiorly smart, and
they got to be.
they play the role. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. They know what they have. They know what they
Yeah,
have. And there's nothing wrong with
yeah.
that, by the way.
No,
Knowing what
there
you
is
have.
no, there is
They know what they
there.
have. I mean, could you imagine? Could you picture just for a second? I mean, look at us, two old schleps and stuff. But could you picture growing up being Lonnie Anderson? Like every guy in the world is trying to get in your pants. I mean, like, if people are ever truly genuine with you, you either got to get sharp real fast about what you got and how to work it, or you could be in a world of trouble. Like, unfortunately, Yeoman Rand from Star Trek, beautiful blonde. You know what I mean? Had Hollywood, didn't surf the waves correctly. You got to find a way to get through the sharks and stuff like that. She wasn't obviously no Lonnie Anderson or Pamela Anderson, and what did she wind up doing? She had a real downfall.
Dude, but
And she had a role on a major show.
I think with the price of fame, man, that's either man or women. You don't know if someone
You're right.
truly loves you. I mean, talk
Absolutely
about
right.
Hogan and his third wife right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, let's be honest here. We're going to talk about Bubba the Love Sponge and some other assholes out there. If they can milk, I've never seen so many shows try to milk so much nonsense. I mean, if you really talk about it, here's the Hulk Hogan story beyond the drama that we're going to get into, but just straight and narrow. Hogan goes in for an operation. Hogan has health problems. Again, average lifespan of a male in the United States of America is like 74. It might even be 76 now, but let's just call it 74. The man's 71 years old. He had heart problems in his late 60s. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, your health is not everybody's knowledge, right? I mean, that's why they have HIPAA laws, right? It's like, just because you're famous doesn't mean they should be sharing their health problems with you. So, long story short, goes in for an operation. He needs a heart valve. They give him a heart valve. Something goes wrong. Again, when you're having an operation, the mortality rate for a heart valve replacement is about 1%. Sometimes they call it 2%. Okay. Pretty good odds. Yeah. That's surviving the operation. Right. Then you've got everything else that could go on. Post-surgery, right? Blood clots.
Sure. All sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff.
All sorts of stuff. Yep.
Arrhythmias, right?
Yeah. Death.
Right. So man's famous, man goes, has an operation, man comes out of the operation, man has medical problems. Then the noise starts, right? The nonsense begins of he's on a respirator, he's brain dead, he had a stroke, he had this. Goes home, people claim he's okay, don't know if it's true or not. We already discussed it. Are they doing it for business? Was he really ill? Again, who knows? Then he dies. Okay? Now the whole story's changed from Jimmy. He's on a respirator. He's not going to make it to. Now it doesn't fit their story. So they got to milk it. Now it's like he was in great health. Now they believe Jimmy Hart and Eric Bischoff. First, they didn't believe him, right? Because I've got inside information. Now it's like, oh, he was healthy, so someone must have done something. Talk about milking this cow, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, it's the residue I told you would happen. After Hogan dies, he's gonna squawk for a little while, and it'll be the exhaust from the the back of the exhaust pipe, and then nothing. So here we are. I said that we would get to this point. The worst thing that ever happened to Bubba the Love Sponge was to have Hogan pass away, because the relevance is now going to evaporate. So he's in panic mode, and he knows he's got to keep it going for a while. So he's going to keep it going for a while. I foretold all of this. No revelation here. He needs Hogan's memory now to last as long as possible, to have people tune in. And you know what? I am baffled that people do tune into folks like that anyway. But
I got to tell
honestly,
you too, Jimmy. I'm baffled as it too, because here's the thing: these shows, they're just reading what they're reading on the internet. It's not like okay, give Bubba the Love Sponge credit. Whoop-de-doo. Someone in Florida, you just happen to live, you used to be his friend. People fucking still kiss your ass. Why? I don't know. Again, we'll talk about Bubba in a minute.
Where does credit come in? I mean, like, you don't give him any credit. What credit for what? That Hogan did a die? I don't give him any credit.
Credit that he reported that Hogan was sick, right?
Yeah, but
and
incorrectly about what he thought was wrong, true or false.
Yeah, absolutely.
So then it doesn't really matter. There's no credit given here. You have a source has to be credible. The source has to be credible. He's not credible. Who cares? This all goes back to, and you know what? You got to probably think about it yourself as to how you responded back in the day. All this internet stuff, all this misbehavior, all this negativity, all this sewage that we see running rampant. It all goes back to, Mike, what were your thoughts the first time you saw Jerry Springer? You know what mine were? We're done. Not only am I not watching this, and I can see why everyone's going to watch it, but
I was one of them, Jimmy. I thought it was entertaining as all hell, to be honest.
I thought it was horrible. I thought it was the undressing of the filthy portion of the human race that we're just going to now expose and concentrate on, because it's so much easier to destroy than it is to create. Create is built on hope, optimism, positive vibes. When you're creating something, when you destroy, do I really need to fill in the rest?
No, you don't.
You guys can figure this out. You can figure this out, right, folks?
All right, people like drama, man. People like drama, though.
And it's tough. It's rough for those who, don't enjoy drama. I really don't.
So let me catch you up. Let me catch you up, and let me catch everybody else up, and we can discuss this, okay?
Sure, please.
The relationship between Bubba the Love. So let's start off with this, because Bubba does listen to the show, and again, anybody that is tuned in for Missy Beefcake, I opened up early to tell you that Missy will not make the show tonight. Something came up. I will be honest with you. Monte and the Pharaoh, I'm not going to speak for Jimmy, does not like when things are not executed as planned. When you give me your word, my expectation is your word. Okay?
Yeah.
So again, things do come up, but this isn't some fucking fly-by-night show. So when something like that happens, you affect the whole programming, right? So you got people that want to tune in, totally get it. They want to hear what the great Missy Beefcake's got to say. They want to hear the banter between us and Missy about the situation. So I understand things happen, but I'm very, very disappointed in this situation. So let's start off with this. Bubba the Love Sponge has been irrelevant for a very, very, very long time. So if you're a fan of Bubba the Love Sponge, let's call it like we see it, okay? The guy made his career off his relationship with Hulk Hogan. How they became friends, not sure. I'm going to go through their history to get everybody caught up. Once the Hulk Hogan relationship ended, once the Hulk Hogan relationship ended, Jimmy bounced off, bringing him back on. Once the relationship ended, Bubba the Love Sponge became totally irrelevant. He lost his position in radio. He actually years ago was begging Howard Stern to help him. And even Howard knew what a no talent Bubba the Love Sponge is. And he is no talent. Let's be honest. Okay. Again, I had no clue being from New York. Jimmy, at that point, you were still in New York. Knew who Blubber the Love Sponge was. What was your opinion of Bubba? What was your opinion of Bubba?
None. I had no clue who he was either. And
in fact, I'll even say this. When he used to show up with Hogan on TNA, I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this guy everywhere with Hogan? What is the deal there? But go ahead.
When you're okay, you're flashing me back to that time period. When you're even more annoying than Mark Madden, and I don't even remember your name, boy, have you really hit rarefied air of assholeness. Like I don't remember him at all. I remember the Hogan thing, and that's where I became like aware of him. Look, this is all about Hogan. There's no talent going on there. Of course there's no talent going on there. Like what would you why do people tune in? I'm curious.
Well, let's give the guy credit. He knows somebody who knew Hogan was sick and everything else, and he started reporting it. Again, here's another guy. His whole career is based on Hulk Hogan, okay? Let's call it like we see it. But let's just go through it so everybody understands. Early 2000s, close friends. Hogan and Bubba the Love Sponge, Todd Clem, okay, became extremely close. Hogan regularly appears on Bubba's radio show. And by the way, when we play the video later, when we're talking about his non-feud with Missy Beefcake, which I have a whole thing to discuss with you about that, Jimmy, because he's scared of Missy, and I know why. Because Missy's got a lot of shit on that boy, and he don't want to be called out on it. You know what I mean? Hogan even lives at Bubba's for a period after his divorce from Linda Hogan. 2006, marriage and friendship. Okay. Bubba marries Heather Clem. That's the whore that gives herself up to Hogan, right? The whore, the wife that he married. He marries a whore.
Okay.
So Bubba's so famous, he marries a hot whore. I mean, congratulations, right? I mean, seriously.
Yes.
Dude, seriously. Let me ask you something. You're married to a woman and you get off other guys fucking your woman?
No. What are you asking me? What do I? No. What the fuck? Why would it?
And I'm sorry, Jimmy. In my world, when you just fuck people to fuck them because you're a swinger, you're a whore. Let's be honest. I mean, come on. Same with men. I'm not just calling out women. I'm just men too, right?
Oh yeah.
If you're just gonna fuck somebody to fuck someone.
Yeah, and look, if you're honest about all that stuff, then fine. But no, my idea of marriage is not that. Like that's.
Well, my whole point is why get married? Why get married? What is this whole thing? I have to get married. Just live with somebody.
Then you don't get married. If you're going to be like fucking everybody. That's just unless you're in one of those strange couples where they like to do that stuff. But I think historically they all end up getting divorced.
Well, anyway. Supposedly they were one of those strange couples. And let's be 100% honest. Okay. That girl's not fucking this guy unless he's somewhat famous in radio, which he was at the time. Again, on Hulk Hogan's back, right?
Yeah. Here's what's confusing me though, like when you said that about Bubba, like who did our guest last week like totally thought was hot? Paul Heyman. Is that because of the money? It's got to be, right? I'm still confused about that.
Look, I don't want to call our guest last week like into money. But listen, some women are into fat, ugly guys.
So
I'm married. Look at me. I mean, seriously. I mean, there's always someone for somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for God's sakes! I guess you're right. Right.
Thanks for the support there, buddy. All right, so Bubba marries Heather
All right.
Clem, the whore.
So where do we leave off with Bubba? What is Bubba
He
doing
marries
here? So
Heather
he marries
Clem,
the chick that has
the
sex with
whore,
him.
right? Just call her the
All
whore
right.
from now on, so everybody knows
Right,
who we're
okay.
talking about, right? Bubba marries a
Oh
whore.
God, not
Okay?
even lady of the night, huh? Not even lady of the
No,
night.
just
Nothing
straight out
like that.
fucking
Just
whore.
whore. Straight up
Hogan
fucking
is
whore.
considered
That's great.
family.
Okay.
Is considered family and becomes best man at Bubba's wedding.
All right.
So this guy is in such love
That's
with
cool
Hulk
that he was friends
Hogan.
with Hogan. Why did he screw him so badly then? Why? Okay. All right. Let's just try to take it like, by the way, we have more talent than Bubba. Let's start with you and me. We have more talent than Bubba. But let's put ourselves in the position where you and I become great friends with Hulk Hogan. We actually get to know him as a person. He loves us. We love him. We're like, wow, this is great. At any point, do you think either one of us is allowing the other one to tell Hogan to have sex with our wife? And are we going to film him and ruin his career?
Well,
what kind of work?
We'll go through the
fuck
timeline,
up
Jimmy.
is this?
I'll go through the timeline, but here's the reality of it. Like
so
this
evil.
guy, but no, this guy wanted to be a wrestler, I guess, and he was in listen, Hulk Hogan is a major figure in the history of this planet, right? I totally get it.
Yeah.
But this guy was a mark. He was a mark, and I hate to use the word, for Hulk Hogan. So much and so much that he makes Hulk Hogan his best. I mean, makes him his best man, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking lets the dude fuck his wife, which I don't even get. Okay. And you could use the bullshit. We were swingers and it's all right. Let's just get more into it, right? 2007 to 2011, Hogan's personal struggles. Hogan's life hits turmoil, divorce. Son Nick crashes the car, family scandals. Bubba supports Hulk, offering him a place to stay as emotional backing. So Hogan's running into problems, right? He's running into problems.
Like everybody else does. Right. He's a person. Go ahead.
Right? And Bubba's there as his friend. But again, that's
cool.
like you and me. We're friends with Tony Atlas, right?
Yeah.
We're friends with Marty Jannetty, right?
Yeah.
I ain't asked him to stay in my fucking house. Let me tell you that right now.
No.
And no, they're not asking me to stay at their house either.
I tried to stay at your house, and you were like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Remember that?
Yeah, that's
when
right.
I just got back. No.
That's right.
No. Hey, Mike. It's a closer walk to 7-Eleven where you are. Go on. Look at that mug.
2006.
By the way, Mike,
good.
Look at.
I'll put it back up.
Look at that mug for a second. Is that Bono post? Fuck it, I'm not dieting anymore. What is that? The glasses.
That is. I'm with my best buddy Hulk Hogan, and I want to look tough next to the Hulkster because in my mind, in my real life, I always wanted to be a professional wrestler. I wanted to be that. I always wanted to be a professional wrestler like Hulk Hogan, and people would cheer for me.
I want to learn how to do an armbar.
Exactly. Oh my God. Hulk Hogan called my show because it's in Florida and he finds me funny. Let me find a way to become his best friend.
Yeah, but can we get to the core of it again? Like, why ruin him? Why?
Let's get to it. Let's discuss it. 2006,
I'm like,
allegedly recorded the sex tape. Hulk Hogan has sex with Bubba's then wife, the whore, Heather Clem.
You ever watched it? Have you ever watched it, Mike? I've never watched it.
I have no interest in seeing Hulk Hogan have sex with women, dude.
That's good.
Okay?
No, that's
Tommy
good.
Lee, I think I said this a couple of weeks ago. Tommy Lee Pan Anderson, absolutely. The whore and Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, let's be 100% honest, guys. If you saw No Holds Barred, let's just call No Holds Barred the movie, right? We're all wrestling fans. We saw it. There's a scene in there when Hulk Hogan is kissing that pretty good-looking actress. I don't know if you remember that scene, Jimmy. Yeah. It's the most uncomfortable scene in the history of movies. It's like, it's just as unsexy as sexy can get. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, no. The only thing Hogan could ever do is exactly what Hogan succeeded in is that over the top cartoon character. He can't do anything else.
No,
Do not
no.
do not ask Hulk Hogan to do anything else. I wouldn't even want Hulk Hogan as an extra.
Listen,
I'm
we're
serious.
big fans, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I'm serious. Unless he's doing the wrestling promos and doing the wrestling deal, don't do anything else because he was not a good actor.
Let's be honest, Jimmy. Was Hulk Hogan really a good-looking guy? No, he wasn't.
No, and also even more so. Remember who were the good-looking guys when he was, at the top? I'll tell you who the best-looking guy was as far as the girls in school. Rick Springfield.
Absolutely.
So no, Hulk Hogan was not he wasn't Rick Springfield.
Listen, this is what I call it. You know what I call it, Jimmy? I call it the Tony Soprano syndrome. This is a fact.
Yeah.
If you're rich, right, it doesn't matter what you look like.
No, nothing matters. Nothing
doesn't matter.
Nothing else matters.
And again, if you have power
in the end,
yeah, right, power, it doesn't matter. Like,
well, if you have power, you have money.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what, Jimmy? You're 100% right.
Yeah, it starts with that kind of deal.
So, and I'm not so far to even say that Heather Clem, the whore, married Bubba the Love Sponge because she was enamored by Hulk Hogan. Who knows, Jimmy? Part of that deal could have been, I'll marry your fat ass, but you got to let Hulk Hogan bone my ass.
Wow. Talk about a patient plan. First, I'll get married to this thing that looks like a fat foot, and then I'll wait to bang Hulk Hogan, who's not even Rick Springfield. This is a fucked up plan, Mike.
It worked. She got a lot of money, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, it worked. So we could say as fucked up as a plan as it was. All right, so we said 2006, the alleged recording of the sex tape. Hulk Hogan has sex with Bubba's then wife, Heather Clem, the whore. The encounter is recorded without Hogan's knowledge, reportedly with Bubba's consent and encouragement. So the rumor is, okay, and Missy Beefcake was going to be on to explain this because she was around at that time, or at least towards the end of that time. He was so enamored with Hogan, he was in a closet without Hogan's knowledge, watching Hogan bang his whore wife, right? And Jimmy, I got to be honest with you. I bet that guy couldn't wait to get out of the closet so he could chow down and have a piece of Hogan. You know what I mean? The closest thing to blowing Hogan himself is going down on his wife after Hogan just dropped a load in her.
I don't feel good.
That's your response? I'm being honest.
I'm trying to process as you tell me this wonderful tale.
Well, let me ask you something. What I'm saying, doesn't it sound true? Doesn't it sound truthful?
It sounds very truthful. What's really puzzling me though is who wants to tune into a guy who hides in a closet and can't wait to taste Hulk Hogan's glazed donut through eating, what did you call her? What was that? Doing what? To who?
Well, Jimmy, you're 100% right. You asked who would tune in. When this happens, Bubba loses everything. But, we got to get into the story, right? So he's taping it, right? Public outrage follows. Hogan sues Gawker, Heather, and eventually Bubba for invasion of privacy. 2012, 16 legal battles. Hogan initially sues Gawker, winning $140 million in damages, which ultimately causes Gawker to go bankrupt. By the way, when Hogan died, the ex-reporter from Gawker went on X to talk about how happy she was he was dead, which is another disgrace, right? Sorry, know. Completely. Bubba settles with Hogan out of court and issues a public apology, right? Their friendship is destroyed permanently. So he issues a public apology. Now he's on the air saying, I do have some responsibility, but some guy calls him and goes, let me ask you something. Why did you keep the tape? And he goes, well, when me and Heather, the whore, broke up. He uses that stupid grovelly voice, right? The stupid fake radio voice.
They broke up. When
me and the whore broke up, I took all the videos because it was safe and I put it at work and my employee stole it. I'm sorry. That's bullshit. It's a lie. And why did you apologize, Bubba? Why did you give a public apology? Listen here, dude. Here's the thing. Once you had that videotape, you probably who knows, masturbated every night to Hogan. You weren't even looking at your wife, right? You're looking at Hogan's fucking giant ass going up and down, getting all fucking horny, right?
Running wild.
And then at some point, I bet you him and Hogan had a falling out, and he said, "Fuck this, I'm gonna sell his tape and make millions."
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's been leeching off Hogan this whole time, knowing Hogan, and now that Hogan's gone, that's what he does. I guess that's what he's going to continue to do as long as he can continue to do it.
And then here
Well,
we
like
go.
I said.
Fast forward. Bubba, no one even knows him. Like I said, I don't know. It had to be 8 years ago. I heard him on Stern. Could be less.
Right.
Someone could correct me. Begging
Right.
Stern to get him on Sirius XM radio. Because you know what?
To do what?
Because the guy thinks he has talent, but he doesn't. His talent was he was friends with Hulk Hogan. That was his talent. That was his. Let me ask you something, Jimmy. If Monte and the Pharaoh were friends with Hulk Hogan, how fast do you think you and I would be on Sirius XM radio?
Pretty fast.
Yeah, pretty fast.
Very fast.
Pretty fast.
Yeah, very fast. Like
lightning
fast.
Like lightning. Like lightning.
Yeah.
Hogan was a
thinking.
powerful man, and this guy made a career off of Hulk Hogan.
Well, I'm just curious, entertain me for a second. When he asked Howard Stern for help, was he asking Howard Stern to actually be part of the program? Because
no, he was asking Howard to get him on Sirius. He was asking Howard to get him on Sirius XM, right?
But
Howard's all powerful.
What's his upside? He doesn't have an upside, Mike. There's no upside with him. It's like, get me on Sirius Radio. Why? Because you're friends with Hogan? That doesn't fucking work. You have to have an upside. Is he funny? No. Is he really interesting to listen to unless you just want to tune in to hear about Hulk Hogan?
I haven't listened to that guy ever. The first time was Hulk Hogan. That's it. To hear about what was going on with Hulk Hogan. That's exactly right. And Jimmy, let's put it this way. The guy's been on streaming, right? He's on X. He's on Twitter. I'm sorry, X. He's on Insta. He's on Facebook. He's on YouTube. Here are the facts, Jimmy. The guy's claiming all these people that follow him. Well, of course, dude. You were a major figure because of Hulk Hogan for 7 years. So you're going to have followers like that. Doesn't mean you're talented, dude. Of course. In fact, I will tell you this. When I was talking to people, not fans of the Monte and the Pharaoh show, other people that I know, and I said, yeah, we're going to bring on Missy Beefcake, talk about Bubba the Love Sponge. Do you know that I would say more than half, or like some knew who he was, but the rest are like, who is that? That's how popular that fat motherfucker was.
The sad reality is that he's just a footnote in Hulk Hogan's story. And because of the day and age we live in now, that footnote is allowed to spread like a pariah. Well, there's the real pariah.
The thing is, though, Jimmy, shame on you that you kept the tape of your friend. You kept it knowing that he had a tape. And also part of the readings is that he was heard saying he could take down Hulk Hogan anytime he liked, because he had tape of Hulk Hogan dropping the N-word. And that was his best buddy. And he made sure he kept that tape. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't keep it because he was outraged about what Hogan said. He kept it because eventually he knew his relationship with Hulk Hogan would fall away, and he fucking buried him. And that's what he did.
Yeah, well, he was counting the profits the whole time. You know, the future profits of what he could do for himself. You know, you said shame on you. What about the shame on you about getting married in front of, I'm assuming, a priest and promising God, and then you're hiding in a closet, purposely watching the wife that you promised in front of God to. You're hiding in a closet. Why? Shame on you for that. Let's get to the point of origin.
Jimmy, you give him too much credit. I don't think it had anything to do with the money. I think what it had to do with is he knew eventually his love affair with Hulk Hogan would be over, and that he would be a scorned lover. You know what I mean? A scorned fan.
Like one.
If you ever leave me, Hulk Hogan, I'm going to get you because I'm Bubba the Love Sponge.
Right. Yeah, he's definitely delusional. But you know what, though? The sad reality is it's played out in some effect in his favor because he's got people. Look, we're wasting our time talking about a waste of time.
Here's the thing. This will be
Yeah.
hot for a millisecond.
Of course.
Okay. So he's milking it. Now it's rolling into, Hulk Hogan wasn't dying, everybody. He was good, but something happened. Someone did something. Again, it goes on and on and on and
always
on.
will. He'll do it as long as he can. He changed the narrative because his original story didn't fit the new narrative, so he had to change the narrative.
Well, no. Like you said 3 weeks ago, the day Hogan dies, the story's over. So what do you have to do? You got to rewrite the story, right?
You got to change the narrative. Yeah, you got to change the narrative.
And guess what?
He'll do it
Here's the thing. People will be out there. Wait a minute. Go ahead.
You got a channel built on a guy who just hates Vince McMahon. There's just people out there that can just milk something for like as long as they can.
But you got to understand, there's people out there that go, well, he knew Hogan was dying, so everything he has now is credible. No. You got some inside info that Hulk Hogan had an operation and it went wrong. Right. And the narrative again is, if they should have just told everybody so everybody could give the legend a proper send-off. Hey, that was your friend that you fucked over, right? And you could have done right by him, but you fucked him over again, right? You knew he was sick and you fucked him over again. Because that's what a piece of shit you really are. You're a low-life fucking piece of shit. And I mean, that is a fact.
And his piece of shit actions fed into the internet thing. And okay, Mike, stay with me. Recently, we lost two legends who basically passed away the following way. You have Ozzy, you have Hulk. They both had operations before they passed away. This is correct, okay? After their operations, and Ozzy was on record too, just like the Hulkster obviously had a lot of problems after his operation, Ozzy was like, I wish I had never had that fucking surgery. So it happened to both of them. Now, oddly enough, Hogan got thrown into the cancel culture cauldron, and Ozzy didn't. And it was very interesting to me because if you look at both their lives, oh my God, they've both done some not so great things, but we love them both. And I found it interesting that Ozzy was able to somehow stay alive and orchestrate his own goodbye. And the one that we used to have to hide our albums from our parents, because I did in my house, the Ozzy Osbourne stuff and the Black Sabbath stuff, he went out like a dove. But he had plenty of tarnish on his track record. Love him, though. Love Hogan. Hogan got completely canceled. And I said it before it happened. I'm like, you know what? I hope you're happy now.
Yeah, but Jimmy, we're gonna get into Brooke Hogan, and then I'm gonna play some video. We'll talk about, right? Because when you hear the Brooke Hogan stuff, you may change a little bit. But I want to read some comments I found interesting. All right. Let me see. Another great episode. Oh, hold on. Give me a second. I am looking. I had some shit here. Watch it. Watch the Nick the Gun Guy. Watch the documentary in a month, and you'll have no fans or followers. You have no fans or followers. You couldn't lace Bubba's shoes. Okay, so he's saying we can't lace Bubba's shoes. Okay, whatever, dude.
That's nice.
Neither of you two hacks know anything about the situation. Mark's poses trying to get clicks. Okay. Again, I am reading the facts. Nick the Gun Guy. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody must lace Bubba's shoes because Bubba can't see his own shoes. So it must be that guy who wrote in. Go on.
Again, this is just, Coach. Bubba begged to get him back on Sirius. We're talking about Howard. Right, Nick the Gun Guy? For someone who doesn't read him, I know how to fucking read. And guess what? I used to listen to Stern, and I remember Bubba calling in and begging, and I'm like, what is this fat fucking no talent piece of shit begging Hogan for? Let's get real, dude. What do you work for Bubba? Oh, no, you can't work for Bubba because the motherfucker can't afford shit. He's got 3 little clowns with him that probably don't make any money doing it.
Yeah, what do you?
Cara says, Missy Beefcake, LOL, this is the hill you guys are going to die on. It's gimmick as a last name. Coach, in 6 months, Bubba
We're
who?
not, we don't die on any
Coach
fucking
says in
hill.
6 months, Bubba who? Shakira.
I agree. Give or take.
Oh, look. So Shakira says, LOL, white knighting Missy Beefcake. Not white knighting Missy Beefcake. I wanted Missy Beefcake to tell a story. And to be honest with you, we'll get into it when we play the video. But Bubba's scared of Missy because Missy knows shit about Bubba. Okay? So, I mean, that's a fact. Coach says that Bubba was driving Uber for 6 months. That's how well he was doing.
Yeah, and for those,
So if we couldn't lace his shoes, I guess we're in trouble, Jimmy.
I got enough problems lacing my own shoes. You worry about yours too at home. Worry about your own shoes. I don't really give a fuck what these people have to say. You already know that, though.
Again, you're complaining about us talking about Bubba. Here's the deal. The original show, Missy Beefcake was going to talk about Bubba and her situations with Bubba. She couldn't make the show tonight for whatever reason. Don't have to get into it. Explained it numerous times. So we're going to talk about it because guess what? We can talk about it just as well because it's very simple. Let's talk about Brooke Hogan,
Okay.
right? So Brooke Hogan calls in out of nowhere. And, you know, Bubba, he's like, Brooke Teeny, this is you. So Brooke Hogan spoke very intelligently, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And here are the couple points, liner notes I'll give you, and then I'll need you to comment on it. Hogan and her fell out about 3 years ago. She had nothing but decent things to say about Hogan's present wife. But she informed Bubba that Hogan did not want to marry his third wife. But then something changed. And we know about the whole Scientology shit and all that stuff that's going on there. She also explains at some point that she asked Hogan when she was getting married to walk her down the aisle, and Hogan refused. At some point also, she asked Hulk if he was happy he had children, and Hogan said if he could do it again, he wouldn't. Hogan refused to see his grandchildren. You later find out Bubba reveals to her. Now, this is what a good guy Bubba is. He reveals to her that she gets Christmas presents from her producers, the whatever, whoever's, dude, what's it called when you sign a record deal? Whatever that's called, right? And in the Christmas card, in the Christmas gifts, is a letter of them terminating her agreement or contract. Bubba reveals that it was Hogan that wrote that letter, and he was there. He read it. And I think Brooke might have asked him, like, why didn't you stop him? Brooke gave him an excuse. I know how powerful my dad was. And Brooke also said that she told Bubba that Hogan told her that he knew that he was innocent. And then Bubba went on, I wish he would have said something. I might have had a career. And then they went on to talk about how Linda used to abuse her. And she did give her father a lot of credit that if it wasn't for him, she wouldn't have been in the situation. And that no matter what her father did, she always loves him. I'll give you my cap, and then you go on your recap. My thoughts were, I understand there's a lot of pain there, Brooke, but we've already got a legend whose legacy has been tarnished with the videotape and the language he used. And I'm a lover of Hulk Hogan, and I came out of that feeling like, ugh. Like, look, who am I to judge everybody's family, right? I can't judge people's families. Everybody has problems. I just felt like she didn't need to say it. Jimmy?
God, which part do I address first? So that's a lot to digest. What I really want to know, though, because there's a point of origin to everything. I've always stood by that philosophy.
There's a point of origin to fucking Bubba's fucking fat face fucking sandwich. But go ahead.
That's a pastrami or Reuben, or what's he eating there with that big fat mouth?
It's a Reuben sandwich with mayo and Hogan's cum on his sandwich because he always liked that every day. But go ahead.
Wow.
It's a cum sandwich, Jimmy.
And you think he's going to throw the videotape out? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, you're right. I apologize. You're right. Go ahead,
See,
Jim.
this guy's fucking obsessed beyond belief. No, I want to know when Hogan's new wife came in, Mike. Is that around the time that Brooke started to have a real severance with her father? Because that dynamic would tell me a lot as to where the emotions are all coming from right now and what may have gone down. Um, I'm not going to question either. Like you said, I'm not going to question whether it's all true or not. I don't know. That's family stuff, like you said. It's family stuff. It sounds like I also want to know though, Mike. You got to help me out here. Why are you going on Bubba in the first place? I'm
Why am
stuck
I
on that.
going on Bubba?
No, not you. Her. You telling me she went on Bubba?
Well, I assume, Jimmy, they had a relationship, right? I mean, the guy was part of the family and hung
Yeah,
around him.
but
I mean,
that's not a good
dude,
historical
dude,
relate.
you
That's not
listen,
good.
man.
That's not
I
good.
could certainly imagine that Hogan would be like, "Hey, brother, you need you to do the job. Go pick up Brooke and drive her to the mall and carry her fucking bags for her because
I'm not.
she's my princess." And he was
I'm
probably
not.
like, "Sure, Hulk, no problem, Hulky."
I'm not saying there's a history with them and whatever their dynamic is with each other. If they're fine with each other, that's fine. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, as the daughter of Hulk Hogan, knowing the history of this man, Bubba the Love Sponge, with your father, why are you going on the show? No, whether you
Oof,
get
good
along,
question.
no. I would be telling her, no, don't do that. You want to talk about your father? Let's get in touch with Netflix. You want to really tell a story? Well, we'll do it the high road way. We're not going to call Bubba. I'm confused, Mike. Am I wrong to think that? I'm like, no, not with that history. Your father just passing and everything. I know that oh God, I hate being forced to give opinions, but I mean,
Jimmy,
look,
you're
this is
not
public
wrong.
shit.
As engaging as her coming
Don't
on,
don't do that.
I felt like this is the wrong thing to do.
Form.
She also
Yeah.
spoke about
Yeah.
how all she wanted to do was have his memorabilia so she could, get it into Hall of Fames. She said at one of his shops, some of his original memorabilia was like over a coffee machine and being mistreated. Look, you could tell the girl is hurt. You could
Oh,
tell
absolutely.
her
Yeah.
kids will never meet their grandfather. She also spoke about Linda Hogan. She spoke about Linda and said that Linda's a bit crazy. And Linda, Bubba was okay goading her on, of course, saying that, your mother mistreated you, used to hit you and all this shit. And I used to think to myself too, Jimmy, like while Bub is sitting there, like I'm thinking about this, right? So Linda's mistreating her daughter. I'm not saying for Bubba to jump in, but at what point does Bubba say to Hulk, why are you allowing that to happen? We're friends, right? I know you're the famous Hulk Hogan, but at this point, we're friends. Or are you just the bitch that you were? Keep your mouth shut, do what Hulk says, and all and everything will be fine.
Right. Hogan strikes me as passive. Look, I never watched the show. I'm assuming that you watched Hogan Knows Best. I never
I
really
did.
wanted to see that or Ozzy show. I didn't really
Dude, you
want to see
can't,
that side
that's
of
all
him.
make
But
believe, dude. It's all orchestrated. It's nonsense.
what I'm asking you does Hogan strike you as like the passive one in the house? Because Linda strikes me as like the one that ruled the roost.
So
That's how it
Brooke
that's
did
how it strikes
say
me.
that her mother had a lot of problems and she understood because her
Yeah.
father cheated on her on a regular basis. Okay. And she didn't
Right.
understand why the mother just didn't leave, which is a whole nother issue, right? Listen,
It
dude,
is. We all
if
knew
you're
that.
married to someone and they're cheating on you on the reg,
Yeah.
and you stay, it's got to weigh and it's got to destroy your mind. And, from what I
Oh,
understand, she was a big
shells.
drinker, and I'm sure it was a big problem. But again,
Yep.
I think to myself and I laugh inside like, where are you, Bubba? If you're Hulk's friend, where are you? Where are you? No, you're not his
Yes,
friend.
men.
You were his bitch. I mean, that's the reality of it, and call it like it is.
Yes, men don't get involved in those important kind of things you're pointing out.
What do you mean,
It's just a
morality?
mark, like you said.
You mean
Yes, men.
morality?
Yeah, yeah, those things you're pointing out. Yeah, yeah. Looking for
I mean,
the real thing. Yeah, no, not there. Not going to find it there. He's just, and you know what's really sick? It's kind of like a really sick love affair gone wrong. When he's like I can't think of the movies, Mike, but I know that there's been movies about fans that are just. I think there was a movie called The Fan. You remember that movie? It's from like
Yes.
early '80s. It's like, it's basically somebody who gets so goddamn obsessed with the celebrity that, yeah, this is a really sick, twisted love affair that went wrong, and Hogan probably had to realize at some point during it, God, how do I shake this guy loose?
So
You know,
again, wanting to be famous yet again, you owe Hulk
right?
all this, right? You're guilty because you took this videotape. You never got rid of it. You supposedly got stolen, right? Supposedly.
Oh,
What do
come
I
on.
know?
Right.
You
It
know what
fell
I
off the
mean?
back. It
Seems
fell off the
odd
back
to
of his
me.
truck.
It seems
Yeah.
odd to me, but the fact of the matter, it gets stolen. Now,
Right.
the guy that you fucking ruined his career, right? Because that's what he did, is dying or sick or has health problems. And you spend every waking day talking about how he's going to die just so you can be relevant again. And again, I get it. If you've been driving an Uber for 6 months, Bubba, I guess maybe you got to do what you got to do. I totally get it. But again, what's the real story? Let's start from the beginning, Jimmy. Wrestler goes in for an operation, doesn't go great, starts to recover, goes home, dies, because all behind that, he had a bunch of other problems going on. That's the reality of it. And the story is they owed it to the fans to keep everybody in the know. What? What? You owed me? You owed Jimmy to tell me Hulk Hogan's sick? What the fuck, man?
But is he just trying to hide behind, like, I'm doing this for us? He's not doing it for anybody but himself. He's not doing it for us. We don't even listen to him. So I'm not sure who he's doing it for. But sad reality is he must have gotten a spike in listener audience after he started with his Hogan shtick recently. So
No, he became relevant again.
right,
Again. And you know
yeah,
what? As
Marco
quick as
Stubbs.
this happened, it'll be over. It'll be over. All right, so
Well,
let's talk about our guest who was going to be our guest and couldn't make it. And we'll play some video and I'll stop and go and you comment. It's all you commenting, but
all right,
there was the funeral or the wake for Hulk Hogan. I think a day ago or 2 days ago. Missy Beefcake and Brutus called me on the phone at my job
all right,
to tell me that Brutus went over to Linda. And Linda basically told him to get the fuck out of her face, that she hates him. Don't know why she hates him. And then
right.
Missy went on to call Linda the see you next Tuesday name. And Missy and Brutus were then escorted from the wake.
Wow. It would have been nice to hear Missy's take on all of this. So they did get to the actual wake itself. They were able to get to the wake itself,
Yep.
and they were able to get in. Interesting.
I don't know if they got in. I don't want to say they got in. That'd be
Yeah,
I'm
right.
not
Where
sure.
did they have these words?
It could have been. It could have been right outside. For all I know, they could have been walking up. Who knows? You know what I mean?
Right.
Right. Then I was thinking to myself, they were showing the what's it called? Like usually get a mask card, but they had like a program, dude. There was like a program. Wait until that gets in the hands of fans, like selling that. How much you think that shit's gonna go for? The Hulk Hogan Wake program.
I don't know. Why don't you just ask that cheap bastard over in Colmac? Hell, I'll go over there and ask him.
Stop telling people where we live. All right, Jimmy.
Colmac, there's more than one Colmac in this country.
I'm going to play part of this video as I go. I'm going to stop and I'm going to ask you to comment. Okay.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
No.
You married Brutus the Barber Beefcake 15 years after his last match.
Now, Jimmy, this is him attacking Missy Beefcake. Okay.
All right.
Like you didn't even come in on the good times like Barbie, his first wife. Now, she's a hell of a woman.
Jeez.
Barbie's a hell of a woman. You didn't see Barbie blabbing her mouth about this?
To me, he's always that big-footed kid that couldn't run the bases Well, he's playing baseball and had to hit home runs. He'll always be that kid, and I think.
And she's such a mark, Lummy, that she knows Hogan played baseball, and he did admit that he had such big feet sometimes he couldn't get it. And you, listen, and
How about you like that canned laughter?
Was that a laugh track?
I don't know. So what do you think about him calling Missy a mark?
If it's 15 years after the fact, how does that make you a mark? I mean, that's after the fact. What? Like Brutus was wrestling at a local fire department or something? I don't know the background story to this.
I'll play a little more.
listen, to know that is to have spent personal time with Terry, and to drag that out of the mud and bring that up as a talking point. And Hogan did say a lot of times, man, I had to hit a home run in order to make it to first. But I mean, to bring that up just shows you how much of a ring rat you are. I mean, you are a majorly sun damaged skin cancer.
By the way, they're discussing our first interview with Missy Beefcake, right? They're playing it on air. Okay.
Oh, okay.
And you're literally a skin cancer case waiting to happen.
Oh no.
And you're bringing stuff up like this? What a rat. What a rat.
In his mind, he'll always be that big, heavy-footed kid.
Let's get her on the show, man.
Why does no?
Yes, it would be great radio.
Hold on.
Are you out of your mind?
Just
she'll do anything. What is this?
So here it is. He's got his little stooges begging him to have her on, and he won't have her on. You know why? Because he's scared. He knows that she knows stuff about him, and Missy, she'll tear him apart. She'll tear him apart.
Yeah, he probably had a conversation with his stooges off the air after that. Like, okay, funny.
By the way, let's listen to this quick comment.
Yeah,
he's on.
Can we get through?
So his little stoolie goes, she'll do anything. Look what show she's on. Well, listen, dude. Here it is. You're not getting paid, and you're working for Bubba the Love Sponge, dude. Shut the fuck up. Whatever that guy's name was.
Yes man's for Bubba the Love Sponge. That's fucking embarrassing.
Could you imagine that? Yeah, yes. No. I'm Bubba's yes man. My God.
More self-worth than that. Get the fuck out of here.
Let me ask you something. You're in the paper. You're looking for a job. One says, be Bubba the Love Sponge yes man, or work at Walmart as a door greeter. Which one are you going with?
Are you serious? Walmart's got incredible benefits. Get the fuck out of here. That's a no-brainer.
Well, listen, Bubba does too. He'll marry another whore and he'll let you bang her. Hold on.
Well, he and the Pharaoh.
Can we get through the allegation, please?
Oh, by the way, he says our name in the beginning. He calls it Monte and the Pariah. So not only do we learn that Bubba's got no talent, we also learn he can't read, Jimmy. He cannot read. He doesn't know how to say Pharaoh or Monte at that range.
Not much of a revelation. He probably flunked finger painting in nursery school.
Okay, hold on.
Here it comes.
I have a hard-on for you. What did you do? You just told the story. You were very polite. What's the issue?
Did I miss a story, Lummy?
It should be coming up.
There.
I rejected
Did I miss a story, Lemmy? It should be coming up. This is engaging radio, by the way. Go ahead.
him. I rejected him, and I'm not going to get into the story of what happened in his house, in the kitchen.
So Jennifer did smell something cooking then.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if she smelled something cooking.
Jennifer would beat her ass. Jennifer was in shape, went to the gym. Jennifer would stretch this bitch.
But she's.
By the way, here's a guy that's trying to become relevant with Hogan's exes now, right? Hogan's dead. Oh, maybe Jennifer will like me again. Maybe I can get into her. Maybe Brooke Teeny will like me again. But they really know I'm a real scumbag, but maybe they'll like me again, Jimmy.
Brooke Teeny.
Smelled something good looking. But he.
So, hold on. You're going to say that Brutus is better looking than Terry? Come on, man.
There was a conversation in the.
Is Brutus better? Oh, shit. Is Brutus better looking than Terry?
In their prime?
He could.
In their prime?
Yeah, in their prime.
Who would I rather look like?
Who is better looking, Brutus Beefcake or Hulk Hogan?
Well, you're basically asking me, since I don't normally judge men's looks, who would I rather be in their prime as far as the way they look physically? I'd probably rather look like Brutus the Barber Beefcake. He had a nice
Dude, it's
full head
not.
of
It's
hair.
not. It's not even close.
Yeah, I don't
It's
think
not
it is
even
either.
close.
I don't think it is either. You know, quite honestly, yeah.
And that's
So-
not. Listen, it's a fact. Hulk
Right.
Hogan was not a good-looking guy.
Right.
You know who's
I'd rather
good-looking
look
in
like-
Hulk Hogan? Hulk
You know
Hogan
what?
had big muscles and lots of money.
However, I'd rather look like Hulk Hogan than Bronson Reed. Okay, so there's that.
Okay, well, that's good. How about Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake or Bubba the Love Sponge?
Oh, Hulk Hogan by a mile. What are
How
you
about
talking
Brutus Beefcake or Bubba the Love Sponge?
Oh, Brutus by a mile.
By the way, newsflash to Bubba. Do you think that whore married you for your looks, you fat fucking slob? Are you fucking kidding me?
He could see Hogan, but not bring his wife. Beefcake saw that as the end of their 3 decades relationship. Oh no, he hit on my wife in his kitchen with his wife there. They were swapping, doing some weird stuff. He's standing in the kitchen at his beach house, and he's telling me and my wife how he likes to lube up his penis with olive oil. My wife is from Boston, so she don't mince words, and she basically told him where to get off.
How to get off or where?
Where? Probably, I tell you where he should have got off on those frecked up knocks. It might have cost him. It might have been like a moisturizer to take some of those freckles away.
Bruce, I got to tell you something too, dude. Listen, everybody gets old, right? Right? Missy Beefcake's not a bad-looking lady for her age, right?
She
isn't. She's not bad-looking.
Not at all.
Right. I mean,
agree.
Christ Almighty, she's at a
I
certain age already. Frecked up knocked. It's
Yeah,
like,
but you know something. No, good looking is good looking. I don't care how old you are. Joan Collins was smoking hot forever. Stop. You know, just because you're older does not mean that you've lost your good looks.
yeah, but it's easy to dismantle people at a certain point. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, ageism is very alive and well. We know that.
Exactly.
Yeah, we know.
Hold on.
Hogan, I'm sure
Why do you hate
Hogan's.
freckles so much?
You know
I
what?
mean,
Some women can pull off freckled chests.
Okay.
Like my mom.
And some
My
can't.
mom's got beautiful frecked up knocks.
She says, I'm only here for one reason. That's Brutus Beefcake.
By the way, that jerk off's got to get his imitation into. Let me get my
I've
Let me
seen
quickly
that.
get my imitation in.
Right. It'll look good on his resume for Walmart.
Dude, how bad? I got to tell you, it's amazing to me how certain people even get on air. It's like, oh, let me get my stupid imitation in. Come on. Hold on.
I came because I wanted to meet Terry Bollea, my husband's friend, a lifelong friend. That's who I wanted to meet. I don't know or care who Hulk Hogan is at all. I guess his ego was so bruised that he couldn't even face her again. So basically, he said, Brutus, you're welcome. You can come over, but just don't bring your wife. It's like that. Yeah, it doesn't really work for me. So have a nice day.
By the way, Bubba's so weak. What would you have said if it doesn't really work for me? What would you have said right after that, Jimmy?
Well, I definitely wouldn't have taken one phrase that the guy's known for and then go steal Foley's catchphrase. What's going on there?
I don't know. I would have said, brother.
Have a nice
I
day.
mean, come on. It doesn't work for me, brother. You know what I mean? Come on, please.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me, brother. Very original. The have a nice day was interesting, too.
And after 14 back operations and both of his hips replaced and both of his knees replaced, he fell apart, and I was glad I wasn't a part of it.
You know the real reason why he got rid of him, right? From our inside sources, I'm sure you've heard it too.
Because he stole.
Yeah, she did, I guess.
Well, they both.
Allegedly, yeah.
They both.
Oh, but in an industry
Right, yeah.
where there's so much showmanship and so much, BS, it's hard to figure out what was true and what's not.
Now, by the way, I've spoken to Missy about this numerous times, Jimmy, and she said this is an untrue story. No one stole anything.
Right.
And by the way, Missy's never lied to us, so.
Not true.
Right.
It's been very difficult though to wade through what's a work and what's a shoot on this particular one. Even on this case.
Even in death.
Yes.
Like the death isn't clean.
No.
I mean, it's not like it's convoluted and leads people to think other things, and
some girl comes in, does a run-in.
Yeah, it's like he got he got killed with somebody coming in with a run-in, double blade job to the face. So anyway, buddy,
yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. But I just want to say one thing real quick. Eric Bischoff came on there and did a whole thing the other day talking about his last conversation with Hulk and how he went and met with Hulk and all that, and Hulk was fine.
He saw Hulk. He saw Hulk on Monday.
Yeah. Change of the agenda now, Jimmy. Right? Hogan's going to die. Hogan's going to die. Hogan's going to die. Uh-oh, Hogan died. Now what do? He was well. Something went wrong.
Of the Thursday that he died, and on Monday, Bischoff reports that he was weak, and his voice was, it was a little.
Again, by the way, Jimmy Hart, Eric Bischoff, Ric Flair, they're all liars, but now they're not liars. What's the deal there, Jimmy?
What about where he said, even in death, his death isn't clean. His death isn't clean because of people like you, Bubba. What are you talking about? You're the ones making sure that the fucking pots continue to smell like shit. You're stirring the shit and you're enjoying the shit. You're bathing in the shit. You smell like shit. You sound like shit. You're talking shit. It's all the shit. And he's talking about how
a little bit weak, but clean. In no way, shape, or form did Eric Bischoff say that he was on the verge of death.
No, he didn't. But thanks for the time, bro.
All right, buddy. Keep listening because we're going to get into that.
Copy that. Thanks.
All right, man.
Imagine him taking, just ripping his paper gown off.
I'm just saying, Dan. If
lead balloon moment. Oh, I got one, Jimmy. Let me do Hulk Hogan ripping his paper gown off in the hospital. Oh, bad joke. Keep going.
If you got a port, and this is not with regards to Hogan, but I'm just saying.
Now, here you go. Trying to stay away from it, but now they're talking about if you have a port, someone can easily kill you because supposedly he was in renal failure.
In general. Yeah, like just somebody's got a port.
Right.
Because they're starting dialysis.
Right.
And it's just you and you're by yourself and maybe just somebody else is there.
Mm-hmm.
So whether you're related to that person or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that person didn't like you.
Right.
And they wanted you to go.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't they just
2 seconds.
Couldn't they just put something in your
in 2 seconds?
Take a syringe and literally right.
Now we're accusing someone of offing Hogan. What do you think of that, Jimmy?
It was Vince. Vince did the Benoit thing, and Vince did what's so funny, Mike? People are gonna believe that this was Vince. It must have been Vince.
Don't pass that around because Bubba will run with that one. We've got news that it was Vince McMahon that did it.
Give him a little time. No, he'll never say an actual name, but he'll say his inside sources are telling him it could be the following.
Very good.
Right in your, even while you're sleeping.
You'd have no idea.
Some adrenaline, something.
Whatever. It could be 1,000 things. It could be that.
Literally,
it could be potassium.
It could be 10,000 different things.
Didn't Hogan not trust a lot of people? Because I think I saw an interview.
By the way, I like our thumbnails.
With Kevin Nash that he used to carry a lot of blades.
Yeah, that's that. But
he's gonna. Someone comes up to him with the gun. He's gonna spit a razor blade out of his mouth and gig him.
They were saying in real life he didn't trust a lot of people.
No, we're getting into that too. Hello, who's this?
I wonder why he didn't trust a lot of people, Jimmy. Strange, right? Why would Hogan not trust a lot of people?
Well, I'm still trying to figure out why Hogan want to put his wiener in a whore.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, it's Monte from Monte and the Pharaoh. How are you?
Monte, come on. When I say hello, be there for me. Stop
the full Monte.
Jacking your D.
Usually you announce the person's name. I've got Mike from New York.
I don't. I never do that. I never do that. You're listening to that's old Bubba. When I had a phone screener, now I just go in dry. Hello.
Well, there you go. So now we're going in dry. So what's the deal, man? Why are you fearing Missy Beefcake here?
Fearing?
Why don't you bring her on to your show, man?
Because I don't
get it.
Because what for what? For what? So she can act like a complete masshole? I mean, can't you see that she's searching?
By the way, Jimmy, one dial, I was already on that show. That's how easy that was.
Really?
He's got so many listeners. One dial.
My God, it used to take 2 hours to get through to Mike Francesa and Mad Dog Chris Russo.
He ain't no Mike Francesa. He might eat like Mike Francesa, but he ain't no Mike Francesa.
Hey, Mike,
for clout and clicks. Everything she said about me is untrue.
He wore a T-shirt of her.
I mean, my God.
Well, why wouldn't you face that one-on-one? I don't understand.
Why would I give her?
Right now, you're the hottest thing right now, right? Hogan's brought you back to superior relevancy right now. Why wouldn't you capitalize on this and bring her on?
I'm not going to.
See how he no-sells the Hogan brought you back to relevancy? Because he doesn't know how to answer that because he knows it's factual.
Because I'm not going to make her relevant.
Hogan can make me relevant, but I'm not going to make Missy Beefcake relevant. God forbid.
fight her digitally without having to put her on my show. That's what she wants. That's what she wants. I'll fight her digitally. I'll fight her on X. I'll fight her on Facebook. And listen, let me ask you a question. I can tell you're a troll and an asshole, but have you been following?
First of all, I'm not a troll and an asshole.
Okay.
I'm calling you, asking you why.
And have you followed along me and the Missy Beefcake? Have you followed along?
Of course.
Okay, and does she in any way, shape, or form look like she's a sane person or is on the correct factual?
So, Jimmy, let me ask you this. I could understand where she could think that she's not sane, okay?
Right. All right.
But let's talk about sane behavior against non-sane behavior. I don't know if that's the right terminology. She's married. She lives with a husband. She takes care of her husband. They have a nice life together. On the other hand, Bubba the Love Sponge marries whores and lets his supposed best friend bang her while he goes in the closet and then tries to eat the man juice out of his whore after Hogan leaves the house. You tell me what's sane. Tell me what's sane, buddy.
Missy's not sitting in no motherfucking closet, I'll tell you that. Do I really need to spell that out any better for you? I mean, come on. Look, it's coming from a sewage dump. He's a sewage dump. You can say whatever he wants about Missy. 15 years after the fact that she winds up with Brutus is not in his prime. It's not like she was running around trying to grab him when he was at his premium worth financially. She's been with him all these fucking years. That's not the sign of a ring rat. We've talked about that previously. It's not the sign of a ring rat. The mark here is him, and he's a ring rat because he's acting like a fucking deprived whore. Forget the wife,
Side of what she's saying. Just a year ago, she tweeted out that her and her husband will never be friends with Hogan again, and that Hogan's a piece of crap and all this kind of deal. So then when
This is a valid point, Jimmy. Maybe you can answer this one.
What?
So Missy was on our show. She complained about Hogan a lot, and then she comes to Hogan's defense during his sickness. What are your thoughts about that? And that's something we would have asked Missy tonight anyway. Go ahead.
My thoughts were what they were then. That there's a history there, and obviously they were friends at one point, and I hated the fact that Hogan was sick towards the end, and she came to Hogan's defense. What was the reason? Because of what Bubba was saying. Now, I can see why Missy would come to Hulk Hogan's defense in this case, because Bubba is a piece of shit. Period. So no matter what the fight was, or no matter what the dynamic was between the three, Hogan and Brutus and Missy, that caused it to fail in the end, she at least understood. And I was very touched that she fucking defended Hulk, because she understood the same point I'm trying to make about Brooke. Do not go to this man and fucking give the forum about your father there. Do not. Because Missy knew what we all know, that he's a maggot and he's bad news. And he wants to judge. And by the way, if you just judge by appearance alone, his whole suggestion that he's somehow superior to Missy and he's got morals and she doesn't, well, she's not hiding in the closet watching her husband getting fucked with another woman. We know that. And we also know that if you look at the two of them just on a physical level, who'd you rather have a conversation with? I'm still going to want to talk to Missy way 10 out of 10 times before I want to talk to that fat bono or whatever he looks like there, eating a bag of Munchos that are now 50 cents more here in New York. What the fuck? But go on.
I start giving the Hogan information. She then flips the script and tries to make it like I'm wrong. Did you see the video of her getting in the Tampa airport, and I was a horse's ass? Wrong. And you're wrong. You're wrong. Let me ask you a question, sir, and I want you to be completely honest.
I like that he calls me Sir Jimmy. I like it. Show me respect, bitch.
What was I wrong about?
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying you're wrong. What I'm saying is you should give her the opportunity to speak. You could pull back the give me a chance to speak here. You could give her the opportunity, right? Brutus had a personal relationship with Hogan, even though you called him a drug mule. They were friends, right? There's got to be personal feelings there. That is her husband.
I don't care. I could care less about it. Me and Ed never got along. Me and Ed Leslie never got along.
So then you have an agenda, right? Then there's an agenda there.
He was his tag team partner, too.
I have an agenda? What agenda do I have?
Yeah. Because you didn't get along with Ed Leslie, so you want to stomp on his wife.
It's no, when she stomps on me first and she comes out of nowhere, she wasn't even on my radar. She comes out of nowhere saying that I'm wrong and that did you see the one where she said the very first time where she's like, what's going to happen, Bubba, the Today Sponge, when Hogan comes out to WrestleMania in front of 10,000 people? You're wrong. Let me ask you a question. If she was right in anything that she said, I would be more apt to put her on the air. But she's completely wrong. She's searching for for fame and for clickbait. She got me. I guess I probably should have never even have engaged in my with regards to how large my world is compared to her world. She's got 2,200 followers on X. I got 110,000. I got 200,000 on Facebook.
Look at him keeping track, Jimmy. Look at him keeping track.
Mike,
booking 130.
Go ahead.
You told me earlier. Look, he's saying that she's wrong about Hogan, that he'll come to WrestleMania and blah blah blah. No, the point of contention was the reason why she responded to him in the first place is to what he was saying. The medical stuff he was saying was not accurate. She was saying you don't know anybody truly in his inner loop. I still believe that. I really don't think he does know anybody in Hogan's true inner loop. Then you're telling me that just recently he's changed the narrative now that Hogan was. Oh, now I've been told that Hogan was fine. So how is she a liar then for what she said then? She was saying that your shit is nonsense and that you're stretching the shit. And he's actually confirming this with his most recent thing that, he was fine. So how is she wrong, Bubba?
Well, this is actually before. This is actually before that, right? So he's changing it now because, like you said, 3 weeks ago, once Hogan. Well, the thing is, here's the thing: he's hanging his hat on the fact. He's hanging his hat on the fact that he got it right, that Hulk Hogan was not in good shape and was dying and then died. Congratulations. Again, Missy wasn't in the know. You and I weren't in the know. 99% of the people reporting weren't in the know. Give Bubba credit. You knew somebody that knew something that was going on and they ratted out to you and then you ran with it. Congratulations. Every other Hulk Hogan fan out there was hoping you were wrong. You were right, but now it's over. But now the narrative is he really wasn't dying, and now someone did something crazy. Go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry.
But the details weren't right. So what was he right about other than the fact that Hogan did die around the time that he started giving incorrect details? And what do you win anyway? What do I win for this? Yay, I was right. He died. Okay. You were right that he died within a time frame.
Well,
but
you know what he won?
He's
in Panama City. He's now back on terrestrial radio in a Panama City radio station. So I guess someone said, "Ooh, this guy's hot. Let's get him on the station," and that's it. And you know what? He's got the same followers that he had back in 1997 through 2004 until he backstabbed his idol because maybe the idol got sick of him and he was angry. I don't know. Again, you can use any excuse you want that you took it out, you brought it to work, and this guy stole it. Dude, if anyone falls for that, they're just clowns. I don't believe a second of it. Thank you. Hold on.
You brought it to work? Like I took my Kiss comic book back in the 70s, printed in their own blood to summer camp. He took it to work?
He claims he felt it was safer at work because his whore was divorcing him. And he didn't want her doing anything. All right, I'm going to finish up this tape.
30,000 on YouTube. She's pretty insignificant to me. I'll fight her over there. I'm not going to subject her to the put her on the air. I'm just not gonna. And I'm not dealing with your nonsense anymore either, because you're a dick.
First of all, I'm not a dick. All right, so that's a whole nother thing.
Sure, call the names after you hang up. Well, he did call you a troll asshole, but then he called you sir, so he kind of negated that. But
listen, here's the deal. He's saying that she's insignificant and a waste of his time. Here's the problem. You're afraid because she knows something and plenty of things, which I know. I had it queued up for the show. I'm not going to do it because I wanted her to be on. Okay. He knows, and he knows if the audience hears her all of a sudden maybe things are going to turn a little bit. You know, Brooke Hogan did a lot of damage on that interview. She damaged her father's reputation even worse, even though what he did, to me, it didn't wash well with me. It made me feel pain for Brooke. But she also did damage by telling that audience that Hulk told her that he knew Bubba didn't do it. If that was the case back then, Bubba, it wouldn't have taken 2012, 10, 11, 12, 13 years to call you? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. She knows what you are, you piece of trash. Jimmy.
What, you want me to fucking piss in that dumpster you just filled? It's full.
Well, look, dude, you know, it's almost time to go. It's almost time to close the curtain on this. I'd like you to just like put the bow on it and send everybody off.
Well, I'll tell you a little sad story. Once upon a time, there was a really big Mark, and somehow he weaseled his way into becoming friends with the wrestler that basically built this whole business. And he fell in love with him. He probably loved him before he ever even knew him, and here he is knowing him. And I will never understand how somebody could become so obsessed with somebody that even in death you're still dragging it around. You sold him out years and years ago. I don't know why you have an audience. I really probably just should know why you have an audience, because, you know, even if you get 1% of the dregs in the world, the entire world, you obviously are going to have some people listening to you. There's a lot of people in this world. But the good news is that as ugly as you are, and as homeless as you'll probably eventually be, when you run out of people who will buy your bullshit, you will never tarnish the memory of Hulk Hogan to any of us who remember who Hulk Hogan was to us. We can't separate. I'm never going to know for sure who Terry Bollea exactly was. I've heard some bad stuff, but I've heard some good stuff too. And I've heard some good stuff that does count from men of color when it comes to racial stuff. It does count. So at the end of the day, I have decided not to make a choice on Hulk Hogan's personality. And Geddy Lee wasn't kidding. If you choose not to decide, you still made a choice. And I'm very comfortable with that choice. Hulk Hogan will remain the greatest American hero of my youth. He was everything to this business, everything. And Bubba is definitely afraid of Missy. There's no doubt about it. He knows we're not trolls. So once again, spreading false information. If you weren't aware of us before, you are definitely aware of us now, motherfucker.
And Jimmy, just so I can interrupt real quick, there'll be the certain case like, look at these two guys from their rooms or whatever. Dude, we have a studio.
Don't care.
It's but here's the thing. I want to get that low-hanging fruit out of the way. If anyone doesn't believe we have a studio, go look at the 8,000 videos. It's like we're in the same type of, but hold on. We're in the same studio that you're in, the same type of studio. So again, go ahead, Jimmy. Sorry about that.
Did you say he's in Panama City?
He's not in Panama City. He's on a radio station. Just recently was put in Panama on Panama City.
Okay.
So he was all hyped and jacked up because he was on terrestrial radio. Now this is a guy that 200,000 followers, blah 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 blah, and finally gets a gig on some place in Panama City. Okay, off of Hogan's back again. Let's not forget.
Of course, that'll be till the end of time. He'll do it till there's no air left in the room, and eventually there'll be no air left in the room. You know what? Here's another sad reality. When look, the end comes for us all, but when the end comes for him, I don't think that people will be like really caring about digging up whether or not he was having a surgery at the end. Oh, you know what? That would be fitting, though, if that did happen to him, but nobody would care. So I guess nobody wants to hear the voice of the voiceless because the voice of the voiceless is irritating. Some voiceless folks have beautiful sounding souls, but we already know where this soul's been. It's been in a closet. Mike, it's been in a closet, Mike.
he's going to have to end his days realizing what. Listen, even if he had nothing to do with that tape, he kept it. That in itself is wrong. Okay? No matter how way you slice it or dice it. But I understand. But the point of the matter is, whatever tale you want to tell, like, or, like, the bunny rabbit and the tortoise, there's a lot of different tales out there. Why would you keep that tape knowing that your friend dropped some really bad language on it? Why would you keep that, man? Why?
Because it's money. Because it's money.
Because when my hero, because I mark out for, turns on me, then I'm going to turn on him. That's what was about. And that's what happened. Once he screwed me, I'm going to screw you. Right?
Yeah. Twisted love affair that Hogan didn't probably even realize was going on because it was all within.
Could you imagine Bubba talking to his friends? I didn't screw Hulk. Hulk screwed Hulk, doing his best McMahon.
What? Well, the Yes Men we just heard with the laugh track?
Oh, please. Those guys are.
That's who he's telling? That's who
they remind me of somebody else I know trying to get his one-liners in. All right.
I told you, if I ever wake up and I'm a yes man for anybody, like, anybody in general, but like, just take me out back and old Yeller my ass,
So I want to apologize to everybody who thought they might have seen Missy Beefcake tonight. Again, she had an engagement that had come up, and it was well late into today until I found out, so I couldn't pull out or change titles or anything else. So, hopefully she'll come back on at some point and, share her story. So you got Monte and the Pharaoh's thoughts on the situation. I'll close it with this, and then Jimmy, you close it. For all you Bubba fans, I want to give him credit for knowing Hulk Hogan was dying. Congratulations. Good deal. You got some inside information, and a legend was dying. And what we did is just, pander about it for 3.5 weeks, and it drew a lot of attention. It drew my attention. It drew your attention. It drew everybody's attention. He was a legend. He is a legend. He was a hero. Okay. And then, congratulations, but it doesn't change the fact that you fucked your friend over. It doesn't change the fact that you fucked your friend over when he was dying. And it doesn't change the fact that you fucked your friend over now. And you know what? You could say, well, he's not my friend anymore. He wasn't my friend. Well, again, then you don't really feel bad for him. And what are you talking to Brooke Hogan like you care about her? Because you don't. Because you can't have it both ways. Jimmy?
Well, I'm just going to make it short and sweet then. Hogan will forever be Hogan. For those of you who watched Bubba the Love Sponge and tuned in tonight to see us for the first time, if you stick with us in the future, you'll realize that we give everybody a fair shot. You can say something outrageous. You can have your side of the story. We will let both sides tell their story. And that's really the gist of our program. For those of you who have tuned in for the first time tonight. Now, for those of you who have tuned in just to troll and say, hey, I trolled on behalf of Bubba the Love Sponge, do me a favor. I've never watched Bubba the Love Sponge, and I won't watch Bubba the Love Sponge after this. Anything Bubba the Love Sponge says about Monte the Pharaoh will be brought to my attention. I will not be looking for that. So my advice to you at home who just came in to hate on us, for those of you who've not seen us before and would like to come back, by all means, come back. But for those of you who just came in to do your little trolling maggot stuff, do me a favor. I don't swim in your toilet. Don't piss in my pool. You've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh from New York. Until next time, later.
You know what I wanted to talk to you about. I want to welcome our new sponsor, 500 Level, www, shouldn't be using that, 500level.com, where they sell all sports clothing and all this wonderful stuff. And support the Monte and the Pharaoh Show. Please use the code MP20, that's MP20, and get a luxurious 20% discount with 500 Level sports gear. And right now they're offering a holiday special with 10%. So that's a whole 30% off the garments. Jimmy, you just being part of their sponsorship, ordered yourself a nice little T-shirt.
Yeah, I'm acknowledging the great tribal chief. Yo, by the way,
I'm really surprised you went that route, dude. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, you know, it's funny. As I was looking through, and by the way, they have a lot of great stuff for you folks out there. When you get to that site, there's a lot of good. Dude, I was tortured. You said to me, pick a shirt, and I'm like.
And by the way, it's just not wrestling, dude. It's all
I
sports.
know.
Like, I was surprised you went wrestling. I was like, really, dude?
Well, you know, I mean, after all, they've been kind enough to be our sponsor, and we're going to have a partnership with them. Of course, I'm going to do wrestling. It's a wrestling show. Sometimes it's a wrestling show, right, Mike?
Sometimes. And let's not reminder, MP20 for a luxurious 20% off of 500 level. And like I said, for the holiday, they're offering another 10%.
What do you think I was going to pick? Like Aaron Judge or something? I don't really.
Dude,
do that.
I know. I was thinking to myself, is he going to go Yankees or Jets? And if he goes wrestling, he's not going Rome. Like, I was shocked. I thought you would go Hulk Hogan, Savage, Ultimate Warrior, even.
No, because right now, the very thing that you and I talk about from week to week and we pine for is the return of the great tribal chief. Look, we really did enjoy that. Yeah, we really did love that reign.
By the way, I got to show you something here. Do you see this? I got this T-shirt.
Look at that. There you go.
It's really cheesily made, but I fucking
so
love
what?
it.
It's the message that counts.
By the way, I got to ask